Hey, welcome to our show. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm the host of the MoneyfitMD show. This is where we talk about all things money and mindset because I truly believe that when we pair these two things together, it is pretty much impossible for us to not create wealth. So I hope you enjoy the show. Make sure you learn, make sure you take actions, and make sure you share the link to the show with all the humans in your life so that we can all start to build wealth together from the inside out. Enjoy this episode.
Hello, and welcome to another episode with Dr. Latifat. How are you? Ah, I am excited. I'm grateful, and I'm recording this episode literally a day before my 39th birthday, which also happens to be the day before Down with Broke is released, a woman physician's guide to more money and less hustle. If you're listening to this the week of May 1st, you still can join us inside our private group, which is on Facebook. And what we're doing is we are having a free lunch event where we're celebrating all the things. It happens to also be the anniversary for MoneyfitMD. According to my husband, who reminded me a couple of days ago, I pressed play because I just was so nervous about starting MoneyfitMD that I needed my birthday to sort of like tip me off the edge. And so I did. And now we get to celebrate 3 years. Wow. Wow. So much has happened. Um, we also released our 150th episode on the podcast as well. So much has happened. And so I'm recording this tonight because I wanted to share with you guys. And so if my voice sounds a little bit, rough, it's because I just got off teaching the first session inside of our Facebook community, which is you can get the link when you sign up for the event by going to moneyfitmd.com/book event. And I wanted to share some thoughts with you guys, kind of. I don't know, this is not really a formatted episode. This is more of like from my heart to yours, if I may. And just wanted to share a couple of thoughts that I have today that I wanted to share as I start the last of my 39th, the last year of my 30s before I turn 40 next year, God willing. And I think the first thing I want to share is just like gratitude for everything, really. I think it's important to be reminded that none of this is earned. I'm alive not because I'm amazing or did anything right. And, every single year when I have my birthday, I do like to reflect on my birthday. And one of the things that I reflect on was, when I was in med school, third year, med school, I remember when I was on neuro rotation, I lost a cousin of mine who is exactly 2 weeks younger than I am. He had Guillain-Barré and unfortunately died as the power went out at the hospital that it was in Nigeria. So I'm exactly 2 weeks older than him. So I have a deep sense of gratitude because, again, being alive is not because I'm great at anything. It's just a gift because my work here is not done yet. So I just have great gratitude for the life that I've lived. I have great gratitude for the life that I have, for the relationships that I have, for the patients that I've had the honor and pleasure of serving, and also for the women that have trusted me with, and humans really, that have trusted me with their ears through the podcast, that have trusted me through coaching in any of the forms, that have trusted me enough to sit down in a room to hear my voice when I speak on a stage, and also most intimately, the women inside of my MoneyFitMD community where we coach and help women that are building wealth do their thing. I don't know if I've talked much about this on the podcast, but my family and I started where, took a sabbatical. We're doing a family sabbatical where we're traveling around the world over the next year. And that was not something that I really pre-planned. It was an idea that we had in, late summer/early fall. And we decided that we were going to do it, and we're doing it now. And the reason why we get to do it is because we're grateful for health, but also because of what we've done with our finances to set ourselves up for success, which is, it's not a secret, is what I teach. a lot of women physicians, and I talk about here on the podcast as well. So I just have a lot of gratitude for life to God. I thank God for just this gift of life that I don't necessarily, I'm not because I'm amazing. It's just a gift. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the journey and how this journey, what it's taking me through. If you're new to my world, MoneyFitMD is not something that I thought I would ever have done like 7, 8 years ago, even 5 years or 4 years ago, right? And honestly, it's grown me in more ways than I could imagine. It's helped me expand my relationship, and it's also been a gift to help me grow into someone that can talk on a podcast, someone that can talk on a stage, someone that can write a book. So I feel really grateful for the opportunity that I have to do the things that I do in this world. I don't take it for granted at all. The number two thing that I wanted to share was, kind of understanding our lives in seasons, right? And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. I've always been very intentional about my life, but it's something that I'm also thinking about even more so acutely. And it's the way that I think about it is this, and this is just the way I think about it. There's no religious, no sort of like philosophical that I'm aware of way of justifying this, but a lot of times we talk about our lives as seasons, right? And the only issue that I have with thinking about our lives in seasons is that when we think about seasons, like, in 2022, we had winter, spring, summer, fall, right? Right. And then in 2023, we had the seasons again, right? It's almost like becomes like a cycle of seasons. So sometimes we think about our lives as seasons, but I don't know that it completely makes sense, to be honest, based on how I'm processing it or thinking about it. It almost feels like, that we're meant to live multiple, I guess you call life cycles or lifetimes in one, where each season is complete, right? Each season is complete. And, I was thinking about that when I was processing, deciding to take time off of work, to take a year off to travel. I love what I do clinically. I love what I do with MoneyFitMD as well. But I chose to take some time off. And in order for me to take that time, I had to remind myself that that season of that life with working like that in that specific hour, the times, the schedule was complete. And so this year is being able to give myself and my family the gift of traveling and experiencing the world with our kids and homeschooling. You you can pray for me, and all that stuff. And also just understanding too that there's uncertainty about what the next season of life is going to be, but each season can be complete. And I think that that's something that a lot of us don't think about. And whether you're going through life changes, whether that's like your work is changing or your family situation is changing, you're getting married, you're getting divorced, you're lost a spouse, like it could just be the end of a season that's complete. And now we get to start another season as well. So, as I go into 39, I'm also reminded of the fact that it wasn't until like a couple years ago that I actually started freely talking about my age, because for the longest I just didn't share because people judge you're too young, you're too old, and all that stuff. And I feel like I've lived so many seasons of life, um, and I just have a lot of awareness that seasons will happen. And so if you're listening to this and your seasons are changing, instead of resisting it, I'm going to challenge you to embrace it and be grateful for it, whatever it is. And we can be grateful for even the pain, right? And that's hard to talk about because a lot of times we're grateful for the things that are positive, but I believe that most things do grow us. The good and the bad and the funky, they all grow us. And so we can have gratitude even for that, as hard as it sounds. I don't believe it's meant to be only the positives that grow us. So that's one thing that I also wanted to kind of, just share with you today. Just be more embracing of the seasons and understanding that seasons end, and seasons are variable in length, right? the way that I think about it, what we are going to be doing after this is going to hopefully include medicine because, again, I love medicine. I get to talk about shit all day. So I want to be able to do that. I get to help women physicians learn how to live a life that's liberated so they can actually focus on purpose. And I get to figure out what I'm meant to do in this world next and what that's supposed to look like in all the aspects. So just being more aware of seasons, I think that's something that I've been reflecting a lot on. And then number three thing that I wanted to reflect on a little bit is I still believe that money and wealth, which they're two different things, money is a part of wealth. It's not all that wealth is. But I believe that wealth, in the sense of the word, and using money the way that it's meant to be, is the result of a transformed relationship with money, transformed relationship with ourselves, transformed relationship with others, right? That part is important. Wealth is not something that, it's not a point that we arrive at when we reach a certain number, right? Wealth is all encompassing, but it's not only money. That's why I talk about money. I talk about mindset, our beliefs. Those are all part of our relationships. That's all part of it, right? So the key is this. I want us to start redefining what that looks like for us, right? I talk a lot about creating a rich life and what that means for you. What does that mean for you? Is that based on the hours that you work? I remember one of my clients who, I think it was like 2 years ago, was going to buy a van. And she was like, should I buy this van? And I asked her whether she was going to be glad that she had the car 6 months from then. And she ended up buying the van. And it created so many memories for her and her family. We called it the rich van, or rich life van, right? And just understanding, like, I want us to change how we think about wealth from the way that we've been taught, but instead to decide for ourselves what that is going to look like for us. Like we don't ask ourselves for us, right? We ask ourselves based on what everybody else says. And that's why we grind, and that's why it's hard for us to think we're successful because the scale we're using to measure is external, it's other people's, right? Because at the end of the day, the money part is doable. You can do it. It's what I do. It's what I'm talking about here on the podcast. It's what you get to learn about by getting the book Down with Broke. You can go on Amazon. It's available now by the time you listen to this, right? But we have to redefine all this for ourselves. And that's what the book is about. So I want you to read the book and I want you to take it seriously. And I want you to do the workbook and the worksheet that comes with it that you can get access to by going to the link that's shared on the in the book. And of course, I'd love for you to leave a review if you love what you read, because that's why and how other people are going to be able to read it. And I want you to buy it today. I want you to buy it today. And when you buy it, I want you to take a picture and I want you to tag me on Facebook or on Instagram, and it's at MoneyfitMD. If we're not friends on Facebook or Instagram, send me a friend request, and you can also leave me a review on the podcast as well, so I can know that you got the book and let me know. Hopefully, it's changing your life like it intends to. So, just redefining wealth for ourselves. And then the next one is number four, which is this is more of a philosophical one, but I've been doing this a lot lately. And I've always done it, but I'm doing it even more so. And I think it's leaning into the sacrifice of those that have gone before us. And that could be family, that could be friends, that could be, just generationally, when I think about the sacrifices of other people that are still alive, like I think about my mom, think about my dad who is late, I think about my grandma, I think about my aunties, I think about my cousins, I think about people that are, that don't even know me. I think about people like Michelle Obama, I think about Dr. King, and sort of like the impact that they've done, like the sacrifice that they gave. As part of our sabbatical, my husband, my kids, and I, we went to New York. We have a family member, a close family member, first degree family member who, gave his life, who paid the ultimate sacrifice in Iraq. And as I stood there when we went to his memorial, and I just looked around, and I was just, looking at the ages of the people that sacrificed so that you and I can have what we have today, what we have in terms of the life we have, the freedom, quote unquote, that we have, the ability to be able to sleep at night knowing and believing that we are safe and secure because we have military systems that are doing what they do. And, I think about all those sacrifices and I wonder why they sacrificed. And I'm reminded that all of those, including my parents and yours, and, the teachers that taught us when we were little, they did not sacrifice what they did or poured into us the way that we did so that we could live a half-baked life. They did not do everything that they did so that we can live a life of comfortable only. And, I say comfortable not because I want you to be uncomfortable as a state of finality, but comforting if it's preventing you from achieving what you're meant to do in this world is not good for you, pretty much, right? I'm just gonna say that like it is, right? Rarely does growth happen when, not that growth doesn't happen when we're comfortable, but growth happens in a place of rest. And if where we're comfortable is our state of permanence, where our goal in life to be comfortable, I don't believe that's why those people sacrifice your life. So for me, the thing is, I truly believe that the baton has been passed to us. And now we get to pass that baton. We get to do something with it for the next generation, right? We get to do something to make the next generation better in our village, in our communities, in our own lives, the way that we live, the way we share, the way we give, the way we teach, the way we parent, the way we doctor, all that stuff, right? So the key is, I believe that they sacrificed and did what they did so that we could rise up, right? So I hope you will rise up. I hope you will rise up. And I have a very heterogeneous group that listens to my podcast. So regardless of where you are in your journey, I want you to rise up, right? And so what is that part of you that you've forgotten? What is that part of you, that dream that you've been afraid to explore? What is that thing that you know you were created for, but you've been silencing it because you're like, but, right? I just want you to let that place leave again. I want that place to rise up again because I don't think it's an accident that you have that call. I don't believe that it's an accident that you feel that drive, you have that urge to do, to be, to make better, to create, right? To grow. And I don't believe that those that sacrifice their life sacrifice it so that we can live a life of permanent comfort. Seasons in comfort, seasons of rest, right? Rest that is the result of faith and belief in knowing that it will work out. But at the same time, the book I wrote was not comfortable. It was hard. It was hard, right? What we do as physicians is not necessarily comfortable. It is hard, right? And there's a balance there. We can be well, but I just want you to ask yourself, what part, like, what are you supposed to be doing in this life? And for you, it may be cutting down your hours so that you could rest and be with your family and teach your kids, the stories of your generations, to teach your kids what it means to be alive today, to teach your kids how to invest, how to do good in the world, like whatever that is for you. I want you to rise up and do that. That's a call that I have for you today. And so, as I start my 39th year of life, I'm reflecting on all that stuff today. And I just wanted to share it with you. It's nothing fancy, but for me, I am rededicating and recommitting to my goal. And my goal is, in this season that I'm in right now, is to rest, to refresh, because I do have a long journey ahead as well. It's to be present, not just in terms of like time, but also attention with my family, and to pour into women, to pour into all of you guys, to pour into women physicians so that I can help teach you how you can create your own life of true liberation. Because where that is the magical spot. That is your zone of amazingness. That is where the purpose for which you were created, the purpose in this season, because again, that's going to change. But that is where you are meant to grow in this season. And in my opinion, money is a tool that helps you, makes it easier for you to walk free, for you to care about your patients freely, for you to take your place at the table, for you to live in your power. That's what this is about, and that's what I'm dedicating my 39th year of life for. So, how can you do that? How can you learn? You already listened to the podcast already. That's part of it. And I want you to listen to this for yourself. but I also want you to share this with other people around you. And you do that, you can text it to them, a link to this video or audio to them. You can share it on your Facebook, you can share it on your Instagram, but also tag me. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know how this is helping you and if it's helping you. My goal is to reach 80,000 physicians, and I need to figure out how I'm going to know how that's working or not, right? The other number two thing you do is buy the book, Down with Broke, A Woman Physician's Guide to More Money and Less Hustle. I wrote it for you. I wrote it because my goal is that to help you be liberated, to help you grow, to help you search, to help you be who you were meant to be, to help you serve the way you're meant to serve, to help you give and receive the way you're meant to give. All of that, that's what I wrote it for. And when you buy it, I want you to read it. And I want you to buy for other people as well, because it's not good enough for me to be well. It's not good enough for you to be well. It's good enough for all of us to be well. And the way we're going to do that is by you helping those in your circle that I may never meet. That's how we do that. So I want you to take the knowledge from the book, and I want you to buy the book for people. Give it to them. Write them a note. Say, I was thinking about you, and I think this is a book that I'd love for you to read because it served me, it helped me, and I want you to help you too. Because if 3,000 people listen to this episode this week, for example, because you shared it, and all 3,000 people buy the book and share that with nine other people, that is going to be 10 people essentially. So that's about 30,000 people that we could reach because you read the book, you bought the book, you bought the book for others. That's what it's going to take for us to change the world. So that's the number two way you can do that. Number three way you can do that is by working with me. I'm not going to work with everybody. I work with women physicians, but I would speak at your event if you want me to. So you can go to my website. You can go on there. You can contact me if you want to reach me to see if we can set up a speaking opportunity that, you have a program, you have a group, you have a conference. Yes, I do paid speeches, right? But also I have a money community that's for women physician. That community is sacred. That community is special. It is not for everybody. It is for people that have mastered science and medicine through going through medical school, whether you're MD or D or MBBS, that's who it's for. And you're committing to make the next 12 months of your life one in which you accomplish many of the financial goals you want to accomplish. What I do is inside of our program, we go through trimesters, right? It's always changing. Our program is always evolving and changing. And the current version that we have is always based on feedback from people that have been with us in the past. And so every trimester, you have a wealth goal that you focus in on. And my goal is that within the first 90 days in the program, you learn the 20% that you need to master 80% of your finances. Those things that you wish someone had taught you, I want you to master that within 90 days. And so you get access to our core curriculum for a lifetime, and you get access to coaching with me and our well-curated guest coaches that comes about once a month. You get that access for 12 months. The other thing that I found is when it comes to women that are mission guided and mission driven like us, we want to invest. We want to grow our finances, but we don't want to leave it and leave. We don't want to do that and leave a bunch of dead bodies in our wake. We don't want to do that and gentrify neighborhoods. We don't want to do that and think that we're contributing more harm than the good that we want to do. And those are my visions. Those are my missions too. So I look for women that are doing things like that, people that are doing things like that, and we invest with them. Things that are doing and investing in the way that we want to, and we bring them to network with you. Those are the things that you get in my community. Again, it's not for everybody. It's only for women physicians. And if you go on my website, moneyfitmd.com/start, you can schedule a call with a member of my team so you can see if it's a right fit for you. So that's kind of everything that I have for you guys today. I'm truly, truly humbled that you're listening to me talking a microscope or no microphone, microscope. Oh, but it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for trusting me with your ears. Thank you for being a part of my world. I appreciate you. I don't take you for granted. And I hope that whatever this episode is that I just brewed and conversed with you, I hope that it impacts you in some way and helps you rise up because that's what it's going to take. All right. I love you. Don't forget to share, buy a book, leave reviews on the Amazon, and you can leave a review here on the podcast as well. Thank you for being a part of my world. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And happy birthday to me and happy birthday to MoneyFitMD. All right. Bye, guys.